Hi guys, welcome back. Here with my lovely ladies.
Hey ladies.
You guys do look very lovely.
You look very lovely.
You look lovely.
Well, we all need a little support in life, don't we? I'm like, thanks for saying I look beautiful. Anyways, how are you guys? What's been up?
Good. Summer.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Is that
to have
Ice
the
of
kids
Base?
home.
Or In Vogue? In Vogue?
I have no idea.
It's a summer
Either way,
song.
it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It
be
was
really
by
honest.
Kayli.
Like, I know a lot of songs, and I know the words kind of to a lot of songs, but I never know who sang them. I just really don't.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, summer's here, which brings me a little bit to our topic. Are you guys ready? Let's
Yeah,
just jump
let's
into
just do it.
Let's just do it. So I came across an article the other day, kind of made me laugh. It was a little bit like, is this true? I don't know. So I just thought I would talk to you guys about it. It's about stay-at-home moms, and it's basically 7 statistics about stay-at-home moms. And I won't go over all of them, but a few of them I was like, what?
That's a stretch.
I don't know where they got their information, but I think it's worth talking about. So
Okay.
here's the first statistic that I was like, what? What?
Stay-at-home moms are more likely to online shop at Nordstrom.
True. I'm just kidding. I think, yeah. Number 1, more moms, well, it just talks about more moms are staying home, and 2/3 are traditional married stay-at-home mothers with working husbands, but a growing share are unmarried stay-at-home moms, which I thought was interesting. But then this one really, okay, when I first read it, I was just a little bit like, what? And then I was like, well, I don't know. Is it true? What does that mean?
What? Wait, I don't know.
So, okay, let me tell you. Number 4 on the list was stay-at-home moms are poorer, less educated than working moms. Stay-at-home mothers are younger, poorer, and less educated than their working counterparts. For example, 34% of stay-at-home mothers are poor, compared with 12% of working mothers. They are also less likely to be white and more likely to be immigrants.
What?
That's
I'm gonna
what
go
I
with your
thought. I
first.
was like, wait a second.
I don't think they're meaning to be insulting, but for some reason it's insulting me. I think they're just saying demographic wise what they fall into. I just feel like there's a more credible way they could have stated the way the thing. Poor, what are they poor in what? Sleep? Yeah. Poor in sleep. Poor in time to do stuff that you want to do? Yeah. Poor in that because we're just taking care, what do they mean by?
But also, if you're working, then you are going to be richer as far as money than someone who doesn't.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so the way they said it's kind of
Yeah.
So, and then I thought, well, okay, I guess there are more, immigrants that are not working because they can't work or they can't speak the language. And so I was like, okay, so statistically, I guess that's okay. But I feel like things like this, it's articles like this that kind of put a bad rap on stay-at-home moms.
Right.
Because I feel like there's so much value. So let me
Right.
go into the other statistics real quick before we
really get into it.
before we get into it. Okay, so it says, number 6 is home by choice or necessity. Married stay-at-home mothers with working husbands are more likely than single or cohabiting mothers to stay caring for a family is their primary reason for being home. Single and cohabitating stay-at-home mothers are more likely than married stay-at-home mothers with working husbands to say they are ill or disabled, unable to find a job, or enrolled in school. Overall, a growing share of stay-at-home mothers say they are home because they cannot find a job, which I thought was interesting. So maybe it's not necessarily people wanting to stay home, but they are having a hard time finding work.
I also think as a mom, you have to have a job that pays well to put your children in daycare. It has to balance out because sometimes you're going to pay more money to put your kids in daycare to go to work than you would if you just stayed home with them.
My best friend Christina literally stopped working because she was pregnant with her third. She's like, I literally am only working to pay for the daycare that I have now. She's like, so why am I working? Because it wasn't offering retirement or benefits or anything like that. She's like, so we will probably save money if I stay at home.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a thing that maybe they don't take into account is childcare is expensive. And it's also scary. I watched this thing I shouldn't have watched it, but it's one of those things where you just got sucked in and then you were wanting to not get sucked into it.
Get it out of my brain.
It was this lady who was talking about finding daycare provision for your children when you go back to work as a mom, and that's hard because you have a baby but you have a job, and it's like that, you know, finding that perfect fit for your baby. And she said that she preferred finding somebody who was in their home with their family and not a big daycare center. And she worked for CPS herself. She worked for Child Protective Services. Her job was to go analyze people's homes in situations where there could be potential harm to a child, physical, emotional, whatever, spiritual, and decide if that family was fit to have that child in that environment, et cetera, et cetera. But she had just had a baby, and now it was her turn to go find a care provider for her child while she was working. Does that make sense? And she found this lady who had, I think, 2 other infants in the home that were around the same age, and her husband like worked but then at nights but was home during the day. So they were kind of like a family during the day, and she said the house was well kept, it was clean, it was organized. The lady was really good about sending her updates. If her child fell, she instantly would take a picture and say, oh, she scratched her head today on the high chair. And she's like, she always made us feel really like up to date with everything, sent us a lot of updates during the day, which moms, we love, you know, to get updates. But her 8-year-old started seeing things that she was doing to the infants and told the dad. And so then the dad set up some cameras because he didn't know if he believed the 8-year-old. And so what ended up happening was the woman that was providing for these children was actually like physically hurting them. And she wasn't going out of her way to like slap them or kick them, but like when she'd pick them up, she'd just grab them by the arm. Or if they were crying, she'd like slam their head to the ground and like put their face in the blanket to make them stop. And she was just doing like these really rough things. And so the tape got leaked, and the lady who worked for CPS got called to go investigate the case. And then she pulled up to the house, and it was hers. So like that's another thing, like that got really morbid from stay-at-home moms. But that's like another thing is trusting, you know, some of us prefer to stay at home and maybe find a job or not work if we have that situation, because it's scary to trust your kids, and not only your kids with other adults, but your kids with other kids. Because if those kids are being, I've read so many studies about kids who are being molested are more likely to molest other kids because they don't understand. And maybe I'm just a worrier, but I'm like in wanting to protect Cooper and everything. But there's so many things as a mother and a care provider you have to take into consideration, and healthcare and childcare is a big one. But after seeing that video, I was like, I would be in jail. What I would do to her, probably.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I know there's so many different reasons why people choose to stay at home or choose to work, and it's like I feel like there's this thing between like working moms and stay-at-home moms that there can be such a like a debate on what is better and what isn't. But I don't feel like you can put a label on it.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't say one is
everybody's
better
different.
than the other.
No.
Like especially like me personally, I did work a full-time job. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom first, and then I felt like I needed to work. I didn't ever grow up wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. I just didn't. I always wanted to be a mom, but my mom worked, and I always wanted to work because I found that made me happy. And so I stayed home with Braylee for a year, and then I started working at the salon, and it was pretty much full-time. And then when we started doing YouTube, I was home again, and I have found like such a weird thing with it. Like I couldn't ever say one is better than the other.
Right.
And so you can't really say like, this is better for your kids, this is better for you. Because I found so many benefits in both and so many disadvantages in both. So it's just, you just can't say.
I think it's up to like your circumstances and what you need to do. Some moms have to work, and I'm sure they would rather, I think we all want more time with our kids, but I think for me, if I was a strict stay-at-home mom, didn't work at all, it would be hard for me not to feel motivated. I feel like I would lose myself, and that's just because I know myself. And I know that like when I am needed in something to do, like to perform or to give back, it makes me feel better as a human. Like it gets me out of bed and gets me going. I think that you just have to know your personal boundaries, and I personally do better when I have something like a project I'm working on outside of myself, whether it's service for my church or other people or a job. It just motivates me to be a better mom and wife. And I think that that's also hard because then you can lose yourself, and it's like, oh, come back to being a mom and a wife, you know, like you can't lose yourself. But some people don't want to work at all, and I think that that's fine. I don't think, like you said, you can't put a label on anybody like this is harder, this isn't. It's like what works best for you is the answer.
And it's so personal because like that was saying stay-at-home moms are poor, but they might feel like rich in other ways. Money probably isn't as valuable to them as, you know, being home, which, you know, might be the case where, I mean, I don't mean this offensive at all, but some people want to have more money, so they want to work. And like you said,
That was beautiful, rich in other ways. That was like spot on.
I'm really trying to say this and not offend anyone, but yes, rich in other ways.
Well, that was one of the statistics they said in here is most people say that kids would be better off with a parent at home. Like that's their genuine like feeling, even though like maybe they're not doing that, or you know, like maybe they both have to work, which is fine. Like most people say that is best for the child, because you're building a relationship that you know is your child, and they're not necessarily building that relationship with a caregiver, which is fine too. Like you need good examples in your life in many different ways. Like it takes a village to raise a family, and I take that literally. Like it really does. Like I need to ask for help more often. You know, I think as moms sometimes we feel like we have to do it all, or we're doing wrong if we're working, or we're doing wrong if we're staying home. Like we always feel like we're putting these shame things on ourselves, like we're just these horrible things no matter what we choose. But really it's like, no, we're doing good, we love our kids, we're doing the best we can whichever way that is, and we need to ask for help and count on, you know, the village to help raise our family.
I had the best daycare lady when I was working. I was so grateful for her. She had Braille reading before kindergarten, like full out reading. She helped me potty train. I was so grateful for her help. And you know, talking about feeling like you give your kids more attention, I almost felt like I gave my kids more attention on my days off than sometimes I do now. We're together all the time, so I'm okay with saying like, go to your room and play in your room for a little while, and then we'll do something later. And I can sometimes put that off. When I knew I only had these 2 days to just spend so much time with my kids, then I filled those days full of activities and different things that we did together, where now sometimes I feel like I need to do those again. And I mean, I try to, but do you know what I mean? Like, I valued that time more. Not that I don't now, but I just knew like,
but it's like you almost have to
time.
consciously do it, because you get used to being with them all the time, but necessarily the time with them isn't the same kind of time.
I did like a Q&A on my channel with Cooper where like people asked him questions and he answered, and one thing was like, what is one thing your mom does that annoys you the most? He's like, oh, she's always on her phone. And like it was funny, and like I could like admit it's true, but I'm like, what am I communicating to Cooper? Because I feel that same way. Like when I was working 3 jobs, I was guilting myself, but it's like I had to make ends meet, but I was guilting myself for never being with my son. But I felt like the moments I did have with him, I just like sucked those in, and I love those. But now I feel like where I am at home all the time, I feel like I'm there, but I'm not presently there. So he is being communicated that I'm on my phone and that thing is more important than him, but he doesn't understand, like I'm working, I'm sending emails, I'm checking things, and it looks like, to me, I feel like I'm providing for my son, I'm doing these great tasks, I'm chasing my career, I'm providing this home and everything that we have, but to Cooper it looks like she's just on her phone. So I think that like I take for granted that just because I'm there doesn't mean I'm present. And so that was kind of eye-opening to me. I'm like, I need to communicate to him that I am working and I'm not just not trying to be with him, but he also needs more time where I'm present with him, where the phone's nowhere around, the camera's nowhere around, and we're actually having this real connection, you know, with just him and I. And that was like, kind of made me feel a little bit bad. I was like, oh, don't do the guilt thing, but it's kind of happening right now.
I also think our kids, I remember when I would get home from work and my kids would run to me and they were so excited to see me. And now I just feel like they're like, oh, hey, Mom. I'm like, I'm here. Anyone?
They just count on you being there.
And I think it's been a weird transition, because when we started YouTube, I was home more, but we were still like going to the studio to shoot, and we were going places to shoot. And so I was still gone. I wasn't home all the time. And then even when we moved here, we were going to California once a week. So I felt like I was still going out and working, and we were excited, and I was valuing their time. But since just being home and not going out and filming, it's been weird again. Like
it's like the absence makes the heart grow fonder for everyone.
I really enjoy working, and I love my kids and I love being with them, and I just cherish that time, but I do enjoy working.
I think it's interesting though. It's like, what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments below, like, how do you guys feel about this topic? I think we all agree. Like, I definitely think that being a stay-at-home mom is really hard. It is really hard. And I think that working outside of being a mom at home is really hard, because you go to work and then you have stuff to do. But I was telling Colette, I'm like, when I feel like my house is clean and the laundry's done, and like I have that life of that, my work is failing. I have nothing put together on this end. But if my work is doing really well, then like behind the scenes, like the laundry's everywhere. And so it's just like, you know, you just have to do what you can do and try to set a schedule and quit guilting yourself, you know?
Do you guys feel like you're stay-at-home moms?
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought that, but I'm like, you know, now, like, I take my kids to a babysitter because I have to get like work done for YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's like I am, but I'm not. But
You're a working stay-at-home mom.
that's why I'm like, there can't really be a label on it because we're all like, even if we're staying at home, we're still working.
still working
Like
your
one of the
tail off.
interesting statistics, I'll just say one more before we go. It says mothers who are not working for pay spend. I love how they said mothers who are not working for pay because we still work even if you're not.
Right.
If you're at home, spend more time on average on childcare and housework than do working mothers, but they also have more time for leisure and sleep. So it's like you are the child care person. Like you have to put value on that. Like I feel like it's like just because you're taking a child to daycare doesn't mean like they're not going to need to be like somebody's not doing that. Like somebody's doing that work, and if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're not doing less work because you are doing that work.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're doing it 24/7. You know, I don't know.
It's
Maybe
funny, like, where did stay-at-home mom come from? Like, why? So is the father that works out of the home like a work out of the home dad? You know what I'm saying? Like, names are like, I think pigeonholing anything into a category name is so funny because it's like if you do the flip opposite, it always sounds so awkward. But a stay-at-home mom doesn't sound weird at all.
Right.
Like, what is your title as a dad? I'm a out of the house working father. That's why I'm like, let's get rid of labels and names. You know, let's just be hippies and grow out our armpit hair.
Peace, love, and happiness.
Okay.
Yes. So I found this on Facebook and I loved it. I wish I had the whole story so that I could remember what it was all about. But this is what a housewife answered. She said, I work as a wife of the home 24 hours a day. I'm a mother, I am a woman, I'm a daughter, I'm the alarm clock, I'm the cook, I'm the maid, I am the master, I am the bartender, I am the babysitter, I am a nurse, I am a manual worker, I'm a security officer, I'm the advisor, I am the comforter. I don't have a vacation. I don't have a license for a disease. I don't have a day off. I work day and night. I'm on duty all the time. I do not receive salary. And even so, I hear the phrase, but what do you do all day? So I just thought that was so interesting because when I did stay home, I felt like that, like, what do I do all day? And you do hear people say, like, so you just stay home, what do you do? Like, what do I do? Like,
I do laundry and I never do makeup and I wash dishes.
Because you do a lot, and I think any mother does, because then I thought about that when I stayed home. I guess I didn't feel value for myself when I stayed home for some reason, which is silly because I feel like I kept asking myself that instead of like really looking at everything I was doing because it's so much. But then it's the same with a working mom. Working moms work all day and then they come home and then they have these lists of things to do on their days off when they get home. So I just think whatever you choose, it's such a personal decision. Whatever makes you happy, know that you're doing a great job. And your kids are seeing such a great example for you just for trying your hardest and being who you are and finding happiness with yourself.
And I think supporting other women, like that's the worst thing that we can do for each other is like we tear each other down and put labels on each other and like, oh, well, what are you doing? Like, I'm doing this. It's like, let's just like support each other in whatever walk of life we're in, you know?
And I think that the greatest thing we can do is talk to our kids more. Like, have open conversations with them like this. I think that we underestimate how smart they are and how in tune they are with the way we feel and what's going on in the everyday life. And I think that if you have to have the talk with your kids that, hey, mom has to work, we really need the money. And it's important to teach your kids those life lessons because who better to learn it from than from their parent themselves. I think too often we don't want them to get scared or hurt. But I think that with limits, you can teach your kids great value and lessons in life when you are vulnerable. And you teach them what it is to have money and to not have money and to work and to not work and help set them up for maybe what they'll want to do. And I think that too often we just don't talk to our kids about those things enough. Like, mommy will take care of it. And it's like, what are you, I don't know. I've been reading this book about codependency, and I think that just communication is so undervalued, even with our own children. So
Yeah. I think sometimes, like, if you're having financial struggles or you feel like mom has to go to work now, you want to protect them so that they don't know. Or when you were working 3 jobs, you didn't want Cooper to know that was a stress. When I was working a lot of hours, when things are hard, you want to protect your kids, but it's good for them to know.
Right. And I think there's a way of delivering it. It's not like, because of you, I have to, it's the way you make them feel. You don't ever want to give them emotional responsibility for what's going on in your life. But because of the bigger picture, which is a family unit, mom might have to work an extra job to help support everybody. I think that can be healthy.
Yeah, and make it positive, like, because, you know, it's going to be better and things are happy.
Or even just instilling value, like realizing that doesn't take away from them or you, that you work, or like it doesn't mean anything bad.
Right.
I don't know. That's
right. It
I
doesn't
guess
need
that's
to be
hard to
negative.
explain.
Yeah.
Like we are valuable no matter what we are doing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if
I
you're
love
working or if you're staying at home, like you're valuable. You're valuable to everyone around you. So just
Cooper
know
also
that.
said I slept a lot, took a lot of naps, and I was like, I love sleeping.
I needed some naps.
Take them. Take all the naps. Naps are the best.
I love naps. What can I say?
I do too.
I hope that was informative and not too crazy. I feel like sometimes like I get so jumbled. I'm like, well,
I know.
It was great. We had a conversation where it was like we really were talking our way through it. You know, I love that.
Yeah, I think that this is such a tough topic, just because you don't want to make anyone feel bad. And like you were saying, everyone is valuable. And so like, we really want you to know that, like, no matter what you choose, like,
yeah.
Do what's best for you at the end of the day, and we love you for it.
Yes. So thank you. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, favorite, comment, subscribe, and leave in the comments below any thoughts you have on this topic or what topics you'd like to hear us talk about. So we'll see you next time.
bye.
Bye.